Hi friends, it's Elise here from Bully Bell, and this month I'm going to be using the Planner Society Kit to set up my personal planner. Right now I'm just going through the things that come in the kit. This month we got 2 pieces of vellum and 2 pieces of acetate, which is really exciting. We also got the usual 6 pieces of paper, and there are 6 different designs and they are double-sided, so you can choose which side of the paper you like best. Also in the kit, we got all of the usual things, including the die cuts. We also got these cute post-its in the shape of the Planner Girl, some puffy stickers, a stamp in Christie's Planner Girl as well. Just like in February, we got some shaker pockets and cards. We also got the tabs and tab labels. We got a cute little Planner Girl paper clip. We got these little sticker sheets. We also, just like in May, got 2 different washi rolls. We got this green floral, and then we also got this super adorable Planner Girl large washi. We got a bow, which I turned into this tassel, and then we got a little gem pen with a palm pattern. This month I'm going to be using this mint colored Webster's Pages personal planner. I've really liked using these planners, so whenever I find one that I feel like coordinates, I always try to use it. I like them a lot more than the Recollections planners, and they are just as accessible. Although I have my eye on the Carpe Diem planners that are at Hobby Lobby, so I've seen the colors that they have, and the next kit that I get from Coco Daisy in A5, I'm definitely going to get one of those if it matches. So right now I just chose the different divider papers that I'm going to use, and I went ahead and made my dividers, and now it's time to put them in the order that I think that I want, and then find the tabs that I think will work best. I usually just start piling the different tabs that I feel like coordinate on top of each paper, and then I just kind of look at it and decide which of them I like best, and I try to spread different colors across the 4 different dividers, although it really doesn't matter because they are almost entirely covered. But sometimes I do draw some inspiration from the actual patterns on the tab when I am designing my different divider dashboard designs. So the way I line up my tabs is to do the top one flush with the top, the bottom one flush with the bottom, and then just try and fill in the gaps. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put in the inserts that I do have ready. The first tab I do as a monthly, and this month I'm going to be using these Sticky Beans inserts. Then the next tab I do as a weekly, and I'm also going to be using these Sticky Beans kind of vertical personal inserts as well. I've not used these before, so I'm excited to give them a try. Then behind the third tab I usually do like a tab for my Etsy store, so I will do, I think there's like a Girl Boss label or something. And then the last divider I do is kind of a brainstorm section, so I just label that as projects. I took one of the pieces of acetate and put it in the back because I feel like it might help with, like, you know how the pages kind of crumple up a little bit in the back? I felt like that might help with that, and then I put another piece of acetate on the front. Then I just went through the die cuts just to see what I had to work with. That way I could keep that in mind as I was dividing each of my dividers. Now I usually put down one of the papers that has kind of all the colors, and then I just start going through my collection of scrapbooking scraps and journaling cards just to pull out different colors that I feel like I can use. That way I have a smaller pile to work from when I'm trying to pull in different papers to do my designs. I am going to be using some different scrapbook pads. I also have some Mambi and Paper Studio journaling card packs that I will be drawing on. So right now I'm just going to start laying down some of my options, and that's usually what I do. I don't go in with a plan at all. I just kind of lay down colors and different colors and patterns and see what feels right to me. So I really liked this textured wood grain. It's just a scrap of scrapping paper that I had left over, and then I'm layering on top of it this herringbone journaling card because I liked that it pulled in that kind of like mint and turquoise shades. And I decided that I really wanted to use this little planner girl and that this would be the perfect place to use some of the puffy stickers because it is a little bit difficult to use them on interior dividers because you do have to write on top of them, but they are wonderful to use on your very first divider or dashboard. So I thought I would try and pull those in. I felt like this triangle geometric pattern had that very same yellow green that is in this kit, so I really wanted to try and pull that in as well as this pink. So I put that down and then I put a smaller kind of strip of the geometric pattern, and then I decided to layer on top of it this mint and turquoise herringbone. Then I put the little girl down and decided that I would use some of these little puffy cactus stickers and this little sunshine sticker. I felt like the proportion was just about right. For me, I always try and, like, when I'm using die cuts and stickers, to try and get it so that the proportions are somewhat similar. Otherwise, it really bothers me. With that done, now it's on to the next divider, which is probably one of my favorite papers in the kit. I really love this kind of like paint streak in that green yellow color, which is really one of my favorite colors. I love lime green or this kind of, chartreuse. I really like it. I really loved how that bright pink with the watercolor kind of embellishment on it, little journaling card, went with the green, so I decided to put that down. And then to balance out the bottom, I decided to use these two die cuts, which again I felt like had a similar kind of scale, but I wanted to separate the journaling card a little bit from the print in the back because it did have a white background. So I thought that I would layer another paper underneath it just to kind of make it pop a little bit. I thought about using this pink geometric print, but then I decided that I wanted to maybe pull out some of the other colors going on, which is like this teal turquoise kind of color. So I decided that I would round the corners so that it would kind of mirror the rounded corners on the journaling card. And then I just layered that on top and put it down. And then I also wanted to kind of balance out the die cuts that I was going to put on the bottom by putting some washi on top. So I really wanted to use like a black and white kind of motif, but I decided that I would also incorporate that green floral because it had a lot of the same colors as the die cut, as the die cuts on the bottom, and I felt like that kind of balanced it a little bit. So when I did put some washi on the bottom, I decided not to use the same green floral because I felt like the die cuts kind of served the same purpose, balancing out the bottom with those same colors. So on the bottom, I just kept with the black and white washi. And I think that I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Transparent washi is so cool. Like, I always underestimate how cool it is. It's just a really neat texture, and it's really neat how you can see the patterns going on underneath. Now it's time to move on to the third divider, which is this really cool kind of watercolor or paint streaks with these palm fronds. And I was thinking about doing kind of a diagonal kind of cut across this pink geometric journaling card, but I decided not to because when I saw that hello journaling card, I felt like it was just the perfect place to use it because it had that kind of mint green and it had some of the pink watercolor there, and I felt like it worked well with the black. So I just felt like it would be the perfect place to use that journaling card. Then I was debating whether I should use the green or that kind of pink herringbone pattern, but of course I had to go with the lime green. So I decided to just kind of layer that underneath, and I decided not to round the corners on the kind of back paper and just keep that like with the 90-degree angles. And I really loved that spotted chair and I wanted to use it, but I just felt like it was a little bit too random to have like a flamingo and then an armchair. I just couldn't quite justify it. So I put the chair off to the side and made sure that I would be able to use it later. So instead I pulled in that little floral die cut instead because I felt like maybe that made a little bit more sense. Maybe not a lot, but maybe a little bit more sense. Now onto the last divider, which is this pretty blue and palm tree print. It actually reminds me a lot of where I live here in Florida. So I knew that I wanted to use something with black and white because I liked how kind of graphic those palm trees were up against the plain blue background. But I also wanted to incorporate some of the purple that's like a very subtle undertone in this kit, and that is also on the divider tab. And sometimes I do kind of pull inspiration from the little tab that goes along with each divider. So I got this wood grain piece of scrapbook paper that's from a Mr. and Mrs. Sparkle pad from Joann in their 99-cent or $1.99 section. And then I knew I wanted to layer some washi and create kind of like a washi banner, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to put it underneath or on top of the little scrapbook paper there. And I decided that I thought it looked a little bit better underneath. So I put down this Paper Studio black and white kind of scribble washi. And then I also decided that I wanted to incorporate this transparent spotted kind of Dalmatian print. And I also wanted to pull in a little bit of the green color with this skinny washi. And all three of these washis are actually from the Paper Studio. Then I decided to layer the scrapbook paper that I already cut on top, and then finish it off with a little sticker from a Mambi quote book. I thought about maybe doing some washi across the front here too, horizontally, but I felt like that just kind of cut up the page a little bit too much and that it wasn't necessary. And then I thought about adding some other things around the edge. Like I really loved that phone, but then I just loved the way those doors looked. They remind me of like Palm Springs or something, but I really like the way the doors looked there at the top. So then I just decided to go through one more time, which I like to do, and to see if there was anything else that I wanted to add to the dividers before moving on. I went through the stickers here, but again, like the scale was just totally off, so I felt like I couldn't use that there. And that gold foiled heart I felt like was just a little bit too distracting. So instead I decided to pull in the only other little puppy sticker heart that is on the page and just put that there. Then I felt like that divider looked pretty good, that one as well, and then that one too. So with that done, I decided that acetate was a little bit too busy on the front, so I decided to do something that I haven't done before, which is to make it kind of like a little bookmark for my week. So I took another tab and put it on the top just to have it as like a tab on the top, bookmark, and then I just put a little label on it that said this week. That way I can just put it in the middle of my week and I'll be able to get there in a snap. With all the dividers done, it's time to move on to decorating the front pocket. And I really enjoy decorating these Webster's Pages pockets. So I just pulled just a few clips that I thought might work. I went ahead and put in the tassel, and then I just kind of like to pull out the ones that I think I'm going to use. That way I know what colors I am working with, so that when I do design or decorate the little pocket, like the clear pocket, I know what colors are already going to be in the pocket with the clips. That way I can pull out some different colors in the, little design inside of the clear pocket. So I knew that I wanted to pull in some black and white, so I pulled in this kind of iCat like tribal pattern. And then I also wanted to incorporate more of that green geometric pattern because I really, really like it. So I just kind of put the paper in the top and bent it so I know what size I was working with. And then I decided to use a few more die cuts. Now, the kit did come with these little shaker pockets, but I felt like the glitter in it, the same as in May, like the pink of the glitter just wasn't quite right. So instead I just made my own little design, and I was able to use that cute spotted chair that I really wanted to use. So I decided that I would use some of these little tassel clips that I just made for myself, along with maybe that purple tulle clip, because I did want to incorporate some of the purple. Then I also decided that instead of the shaker card, I would use one of the little pockets there and just insert some die cuts. That way I could incorporate them as well. I also like to use some of the cardstock backing that comes as packaging in this kit. I feel like it's a really fun way to bring in some of the other patterns and colors into the pocket. And this month I did kind of struggle a little bit with placing all of my clips, and I felt like part of the problem was that the little tassel clips were a little bit too long. So I ended up taking them out and trimming them a little bit so that they would fit better. And after I did that, things came together a lot easier. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'd also like to announce the winner of the giveaway that I put up in my last video. The winners are number 62, which is Fun Paper Art, and also I'm going to do a second winner, number 19, Alicia Martin, because I actually have two kind of oops kits. They're almost perfect, but a little bit off. So those are going to be my two winners. So those people, please contact me at my email address, which is bulliebelleco@gmail.com. It's also in the down bar. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking this time with me, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!